How well do you know yourself? I'm Jo Peacock, and in this episode of Beyond Tech, I'm going to share with you 5 key qualities of emotional intelligence and explain how you can master them. Emotional intelligence is all about understanding the impact and the effect that you have on your surrounding environment and understanding how your actions can create a reaction in somebody else. This means that you need to have skills to enhance your emotional intelligence and to make you more aware of your surroundings and to ensure that what you're doing is not having a negative effect on the people around you. So my first tip is that of self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is pretty much as it says. How aware are you of yourself? Before you react to anything that's happened, just slow down. Just think before you speak. Formulate that answer in your head before you actually give your answer. And secondly, as part of self-awareness, write down your thoughts. You can only be self-aware if you know yourself. And you know yourself better if you write down your thoughts. I've heard people say that they keep a journal when it comes to trying to enhance their self-awareness skills. By journal, I mean sort of a diary, something that you write down your thoughts in when a certain situation has happened. And I encourage you to write down your thoughts at the time of that situation. Not only will it make you slow down because you're going to take the time out before you react to write things down, but it's also a really useful learning tool for the future. My second point, my second tip for you is to learn self-regulation. Now, this comes from self-awareness, but it's all about personal accountability. Practice being calm. Count to 5 before you answer anything. Whether it may be a positive reaction or whether it may be a negative reaction, count to 5. And then analyze how you do things. And again, with self-awareness, I asked you to write things down. But now what I want you to do is take what you've written down and analyze how you do things. Not just why, but how you do it. How do you react to certain situations? And look for ways to improve. Look for ways that you could have done it better. My third tip for you is motivation. How motivated are you? I can tell you now that if you're not particularly motivated over any specific task, do you know what's going to happen? You're not going to want to do it. You're going to be negative about it. It's as simple as that. So how do you give off a very positive vibe about something that you don't want to do? Something that you're not motivated for. This is in the basics of organizational change management, is looking for a need. And I think John Kotter summed it up when he looked at, organizational change. He looked at creating a sense of urgency. In other words, trying to find a positive reason why we're doing something that will get me motivated for that particular task or that change in the instance he was talking about, and therefore will get me on board and get me involved in that particular task or that particular change. So look for the why. Why am I doing it? Now let's try and find a benefit to the why. Because if I can find a benefit to doing something, then I'm going to be more positive about that. And that positivity is going to radiate out to those around me. Somebody said to me a long, long time ago, never say no but. Always look for the yes if. No, I can't do that because. That's not the answer. Yes, I can do that if I have these tools to hand. That's the answer that you want to give. Try and phrase things in a positive way as opposed to in a negative way. My next skill that you can learn is empathy. Empathy is not just about understanding. And it's not about feeling sorry for somebody or feeling sorry for a certain situation either. Empathy is about really putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. To show empathy, I want you to practice active listening. This is something that you can actively do. When somebody talks to you, paraphrase what they've said back to them. Or maybe you want to actually turn it into a different light. So if somebody says, no, I can't do this because, then one way of active listening and actually a way of turning a situation into something positive is to reply the no, I can't do this because with yes, you can do this if you have these tools to hand. Respond to people's feelings. If people are having a bad day, don't just ignore them. How you feel in a certain situation might be completely different, but nevertheless, whatever the situation is, if somebody is feeling genuinely emotional and genuinely traumatized, they have every right to feel that way. And what you can do is you can demonstrate empathy with them and build that working relationship with them just by, going back and putting yourself in their shoes. Just remember that everybody reacts in different ways. Lastly, my last tip for you, my fifth tip is social skills. How do you increase your social skills? How do you practice your social skills? I think about communication skills. Communication should always be in the language of the audience. And I'm not talking about French or German or Spanish or English. I'm talking about the language that they use. So always make sure that when you communicate in the language of the audience, but you communicate in the style of the audience too. And be very, very careful when it comes to using colloquialism, and try and stay away from them because they don't translate very well. Take some time out to learn conflict resolution. When was the last time you tried to diffuse a tempestuous situation? When you try to diffuse a situation where two people were clearly having a disagreement. Learn conflict resolution and practice conflict resolution. It will help within your personal relationship. And lastly, I've been talking about thinking positively quite a lot in this particular video. When was the last time you praised somebody? If somebody has done a good job, then praise them. Even if you might think to yourself, do you know what, that was part of their job anyway, they should have done it. It doesn't matter if they've done a good job, then say thank you, praise them, be positive about it. So now I've shared with you my 5 tips for enhancing your emotional intelligence and the effect that you have on your environment around you. But I'm sure that you've got more additional tips. So if you have, please leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more episodes of Beyond Tech from Zach and I every single week. Thanks for watching.